We're just two regular ass bitches from the coast.
What is up, and welcome to Gym Girls Anonymous. We're your two unhinged gym besties who are here to talk shit, get fit, and learn as we go. I'm Lainey.
And I'm Ronnie. Our goal is to have fun, share honest, unscammy fitness advice, and get a little real. Today, we're going to know the body a little bit better and how to make those muscles that we just learned about grow a little bit bigger. But first, let's talk some shit. Or whatever comes to mind, because this week's actually been pretty good, honestly, for shit talking wise. But we went on a 7.5 mile run before we came here after going to the gym for an hour and doing our plyometrics, which is honestly one of my favorite days because of how quick and simple the day goes through. Bouncy. And then the mental game and physical game of running 7.5 miles is always interesting, but we're a little brain foggy maybe today. So if we stumble, you'll know why.
As far as shit talking, I'm not sure that I have anything. I will say the only thing that's coming to mind right now is I got the limited edition cookie dough Oreos because I saw them at the store and I was like, oh my god, babe, do you think those would be good? And he was like, no, literally, let's go. And then the next week they were gone, so I ordered them on Amazon. They are actually pretty good, but they kind of taste like caramel in the middle, and I'm mad that I spent $7 on limited edition Oreos.
Way too expensive in general. I mean, come on, $7 for some chocolate and cream?
Also, not to be this cunt, I love Oreo Thins because 4 cookies for 140 calories feels better than 2 Oreos being 140 calories is low-key insane. If you're tracking macros to any extent, it's like 2 fucking cookies. I'd literally rather eat anything else.
Yeah, don't come for me for advice with Oreos. I will literally leave an entire sleeve. Eat an entire sleeve.
Eat a sleeve, leave a sleeve.
If nobody stops me, and nobody does stop me, so I don't give a fuck.
I do like the Oreo Thins. I made the like viral cheesecake or whatever with the Kite Hill vegan Greek yogurt, a little bit of sugar-free pudding mix, and then the Oreo Thins. Fucking banging, I'm not gonna lie.
I definitely want to try something like that. I've been craving a lot of sweet treats. Just, at the end of the day, I got a little treat. I mean, I was sent home yesterday with a blackberry, blueberry, something crisp that my client made, I would assume, and gave to me. I love being sent home with treats. It is almost better than a dollar amount of a tip. She sent me home with literal dinner last week, a Costco pre-made, you just kind of like put it all in the pan meal. She like fully just was like, here, do you like this? Here, take it home. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
As a Sicilian, food is my love language, which is also a danger.
Yeah, without a doubt. I don't have anything else that I can come to mind. Maybe if I think about it later on, but
we'll find something to talk shit about.
Yeah, always.
We'll just jump right in to get to know your muscles. We're gonna go kind of back and forth here, and I'm gonna go through some of the main muscle groups that you'll hear about in the gym, where they are, what they do, and then Ronnie will take us through what motions to put those muscles through to get them big and juicy.
Yeah, basically just kind of giving you a quick little insight of these are the top muscles, or the top exercises for each muscles that we're going to go over, just so that it's a quick, concise little bundle of joy for you to listen or watch and reflect. Oh my god, today's going to be rough, you guys, so bear with us.
It gives a nice little outline so you know what to do in your progressive overload. Okay?
Okay.
I
don't want to know about no fucking muscle confusion, baby.
I will burn this house down.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with the traps. This is the trapezius muscle, which is made of upper, middle, and lower fibers. It is a large superficial muscle covering the upper back and neck, kind of shaped like a kite. It connects your spine and your shoulder girdle and controls scapular position and movement. So your upper traps, this like basically nape of the neck, shoulder area, they shrug the shoulders and they help to rotate the scapula upwards when you reach over your head. The middle traps pull the shoulders back, retract the shoulder blades, and then the lower traps pull the shoulder blades down, stabilize the scapula, because the scapula, unlike most other joints, is like barely connected to another bone. You have, right, your ball and socket joints are literally like enclosed in each other. The scapula is like touching the clavicle, but that's fucking it. So it really relies on muscles to keep it stabilized.
Which is, just because you ended with that one, we'll start there. There isn't really a way to, so to speak, strengthen it, more of just like keep it for your range of motion. So Y raises was something that I was reading about. You're basically laying down flat on the ground and you're raising your hands up in a Y motion. Next, for the mid and some lower still, we've got a deadlift, which really just activates the traps, and a face pull, because you're literally pulling it and retracting it back towards yourself. Hopefully you heard me. I'm like using my arms and moving the mic away from my mouth. The upper, we've got the upright row, the farmer's carry, and just genuine shrugs. You've got barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell, any kind of weight that you could hold on to and shrug with it. And the grip you can change. You can have it to the side, to the front. That's kind of the same with the farmer's carry, where the kettlebell.
Yeah. The middle traps, also any type of row, anything where you're hitting those muscles. And that's kind of, we're neglecting the fact that there's other muscles involved in that as well. I just want to talk about the main muscle groups. This will put you farther ahead than a lot of people at the gym.
For sure. And these are totally, I mean, you're not going to look at a deadlift and be like, yep, I'm doing this for my traps. There's a lot of other muscles that are going into the deadlift, but it is something that works those traps when you're doing it. So take that with what we're talking about here. They're just the basics, ones that target each muscle group. Obviously, others will be working as well.
Yeah, especially with like a deadlift. Typically, when we think deadlift, we're thinking of legs, but it uses 98% of your muscles. Like, it is a full body movement. Anyways, that brings us to your pecs. These are your pectoralis muscles, and you have the pectoralis major, which is like this bigger top one, and then superficial, underneath that a bit, you have pec minor. So pec major primarily drives arm movement, basically pushing, hugging, and like bringing your arms in towards your body. And then pec minor, which is like deeper than the pec major, is a supporting muscle. It supports posture and then helps the rib cage to move when breathing.
For the pec major, you want to think about the differences of a compound lift and an isolation lift. For compounds, with the pushing, that is any variation of a bench press. You can do barbell, incline, decline. With the, not even necessarily a barbell, you can use dumbbells and whatnot. Isolation, you're going to want to do the cable dumbbell or a machine fly, where you're pushing in, that hugging motion, or just some push-ups. That's kind of a good to just hit all of it in the one motion. And for the pec minor, that one you had said is for the scapular control. So what I found is it's often tight. So it's really more about just keeping it for the range of motion so that you are strengthening every part of it while also focusing on stretching. That can include cable flies, chest dips, and what I've just found out about our push-up plus. That is basically just a regular push-up, but once you hit to the top range of motion, you extend further back and you're expanding your shoulders away from themselves, which I thought that actually was pretty cool. I didn't know that existed until a couple days ago.
Yeah, so like at the top of the push-up, you continue pushing down with your arms and wrap your scapulas towards the front of your body.
You're rounding that back as much as possible. You kind of push and extend.
Think about just the shoulder blades doing like a cat, if you are familiar with yoga.
Yeah, that's the little plus part of it.
Plus, the pecs, along with the deltoids, which we actually aren't talking about the deltoids today, but that the anterior or front deltoids helps give that like nice capped shoulder look. And so you don't want to skip this shit. Which brings us, arm-wise, into the biceps. The biceps brachii has a long head and a short head, and it's a superficial muscle on the front of the upper arm, often described as the hat that sits over the deeper coracobrachialis. So like the bicep is really just this small bump part of the muscle. Like the rest of your arm is the coracobrachialis, but everybody's like biceps, biceps, biceps. So whatever. The long head of the bicep assists with shoulder stability and elbow flexion, so bringing the forearm in towards the upper arm. And then the short head, elbow flexion, and forearm rotation, specifically bringing that palm upward, helps that drive with the shortening. The coracobrachialis, just so we all know, is that deep upper arm muscle that runs from the clavicle down into the arm, and it's the shoulder stable which assists with all of those motions as well as bringing the arm in closer to the body, and it's the structural basis of the biceps.
As for the long head, honestly, and for the short head, really any variation of a curl is going to work those. It's just a matter of where your hand is placed and where the weight is coming from. As for your long head, incline dumbbell curls, hammer curls, close grip barbell curls, and a cable curl. As for the short head, it's kind of the same, but again, we've got a preacher curl, a spider curl, a concentration curl, curl, a high cable T curl, which it was called something else online and I didn't really care for the name, but you basically have two cables side to side and you're pulling it towards your head with that, again, palm up towards you, working that lower short head.
So the biceps, number one motherfucking job is to flex the arm. So anytime you're flexing the arm, you're using the bicep. And then you can put an emphasis on the heads based on the positioning of your wrist and like the supination or pronation of the forearm. Also, if I'm stumbling over my words, it's because I'm trying not to use like the medical terminology. I'm trying to use more common terms here. So
the layman's terms.
I did
for layman's.
I wasn't gonna say that. I'm trying not to use the way that I was taught, because you'd be like, bitch, ain't nobody know what the fuck you're talking about. It's not my problem that I have to, or it's not your problem that I have to know this. Anyways, we're going to go right into the lats, which is your latissimus dorsi muscle. It is a large, flat, superficial muscle that covers the mid to low back. If you think of like the flying squirrel suits, it is the wing portion of that. It connects the spine and pelvis to your upper arm. It literally travels from the back under the armpit into the front of the humerus. The lats help with shoulder extension, so any motion that brings that arm behind you. Adduction, which would be adding the arm into the body, bringing it in, and internal rotation. So if you think of thumb up, internal rotation is moving that thumb towards the back of the body. So it helps to rotate the humerus in towards the torso. Nice, strong lats are what give us that hourglass illusion and make us have an itty bitty waist, which is why we don't fucking skip upper body day. What do we do on our upper body days, Ronnie?
Well, we also do lower body days. Just don't forget about that as well, because like you can't upper body days.
Don't skimp.
Again, any kind of motion that you're pulling it down. So that's pull ups, pull downs, barbell rows. You can do a standing, leaning over row, or sitting, rowing towards yourself. Really thinking about that squeeze at the back of your shoulders. One of them we do that I really like actually for it is kneeling, single arm pull downs. You're on your all the way down, twisting. You're not going to understand that if I'm not watching.
Look at me.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, follow us on YouTube. And the last one is single arm dumbbell row. Just the same idea. You can use a barbell, dumbbell, cable. really isolating that pulling motion towards you and squeezing.
Anything where you're driving those elbows back behind you is to some degree going to hit those lats. We don't really train like an internal rotation of the arm, but it's really less important. That main driver, that main motion is, pulling in, adding the arm into the body, pulling, or driving the elbow back. Which brings us to my favorite muscle, the glutes.
The big old fatty body.
You gotta have a body. The glutes are the gluteus muscles, and there are 3 of them: the gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus. The gluteus maximus is the largest and most superficial glute muscle, which forms the bulk of your booty. It connects the posterior, aka the back of your pelvis, to the femur via the IT band. Glute max helps with hip extension, so anything that brings the leg back behind you. External rotation, so think about turning your toes away from your midline. And posterior pelvic control, so it helps with tucking the butt, basically.
So for glute max, that you want to think hip thrust, the small range of motion, but it's really that hinge, glute pushing, squeezing at the top, RDLs, Bulgarian split squats, sumo deadlifts, a squat, anything that's really using the bulk of your glute is going to build it the most with these ones specifically.
Glute max is also one of the movement drivers for sprinting because that extension of the leg behind you.
Which is why sprinters have the fattest of asses, by the way.
Then you have your gluteus medius. This is the middle glute muscle. It is on the outer upper hip and it's partially covered by the glute max. It connects the ilium, which is the ridge of your pelvis, to the femur. And it is critical for frontal plane stability, which frontal plane is this kind of front body area. Glute med, hip abduction. So all of the glute muscles do hip abduction, which is taking your leg away from your body. Glute med also does both internal and external rotation, so that toe in and out. And it stabilizes the joint, keeping the, and it prevents the hip from dropping when you walk. So,
Basically everything that you work on for the medius also affects the minimus to a degree. Obviously one is going to do more work than the other, but for those you want to think about cable or machine abductions, so again, taking that leg away, leaning forward really helps isolate that muscle back there and you're pushing through it. Lateral band walks, just again, side to side, moving your leg away from you. Side plank with a leg lift, that really isolates that muscle so you can do one at a time. Fire hydrants, curtsy lunges. These are all really hard to overload in when they are just mostly body weight. You can add some for like a leg lift. You can put a plate on your leg and hold it and move it. But realistically, the best workout for your meat and min is going to be the cable abductions.
Gluteus minimus. This is your deepest glute muscle and it lies underneath the glute med. It connects the pelvis and the femur and fine-tunes hip and pelvic control. It is hip abductor, but unlike max, it does internal rotation. So it rotates that toe in towards the midline. Med does both a little bit. Stabilizes the joint. It keeps the head of your femur centered when you're making big movements. As far as like kickback goes, because it's an abduction motion, it's going to target them all. And then the positioning of your toes is basically like the angle of your leg is how you're going to bias one or the other.
So that's when they say when you're standing there and you rotate your toe out and then you're kicking at an angle rather than just straight back is how you can target the different muscles that way. But an overall well-rounded exercise that, again, hits every single one of them is, I think, from what I've been listening and reading, is walking lunges. It's easy to overload with weight, you can use, there's a lot of different ways to do it. And it really gets a nice deep stretch in that lunge. I did them today for the first time in our program, and boy, did I feel the difference.
And with walking lunges, to help bias the glutes a little bit more, you're going to want to lean forward, because when we're upright, then we're biasing the quads, because again, you're using your whole fucking leg.
Yeah, you're taking a really big step, leaning forward, thinking about all of the stretch that you can, pushing through it.
Making sure that all three parts of your glute muscle are well trained is how you get the ass that you want, that big bubblegum booty baddie, okay?
Now, if you want all of this glute gains 101, we have a nice little cute document that you can find in the description in our bios, wherever the fuck they put it. I don't know where this shit goes anymore.
Where links are, it'll be.
You'll find it, so just go look for it, because I know that you're capable. Use your 2 human eyes and you'll find it. But we have a document that we've created with almost all of this information in a little cute buttoned up package that also has a 3-day split at the end of it as like a, hey, thanks for listening to this information. Here's how you can go utilize it, part of the deal. So,
and you get to bypass all the brain fog, but it's much less fun that way.
And once you have it, you'll have it forever, so you can always look back at it. You can read it, save it, screenshot it, share it, all the fun stuff.
All right, we got the big juicy glutes. Now let's go around to our quads. These are your quadriceps, and there are there are 4 of them. So you have your rectus femoris, your vastus lateralis, your vastus medialis, and your vastus intermedius. Basically, you have a superficial top one, which is your rectus femoris, and it's the only one that does any type of hip stuff, hip flexion. The other ones don't. And then you have your vastus lateralis, intermedius, and your, sorry,
Mom. Sorry.
Lateralis, medialis, intermedius. So just think about that going from the outside of the thigh to the inside. This muscle group makes up the front of the thigh and connects your pelvis and your femur to the tibia. Basically, I don't want to convolute this. You don't need to think about them separately. Again, the rectus femoris does move the hip, but basically the quad's job is to extend your knee, okay? It has basically one job, and it's to straighten the knee. So when you are doing any motion that extends the leg or straightens the leg, you're going to be working the quads. I do want to make one caveat here before we jump into some exercises for the quads. As a massage therapist, when people come to me with knee pain, the first thing I will look at is the tension that's in the quads, because your patella, aka your kneecap, lives sandwiched into the tendinous attachment of the quads to the tibia. So if you're having knee pain, start with addressing your quads and see how that works before moving on to other potential problems.
This has absolutely nothing to do with what you pretty much just said, except for when I was in the shower today, I had like squatted down and like where your feet are all the way down, like your knees aren't bent, and I could feel my patellas going behind, like just disappearing. I was like, that's wild, because we were talking this morning about how knees are weird, and of course I'm always looking at my knees with my injury and whatnot, and like, okay, why do you hurt right here? So I'm genuinely always looking at my fucking knees, and it's just like, they're so weird. It's not even your knee half the time that's hurting, so.
Yeah, sometimes obviously other stuff is going on, but I would say 80% of the time that people are like, oh, my knee hurts, and I work the quads, which, at first they're like, bitch, I said my knee. And then they're like, oh my god, that helped. It's almost like I went into debt to learn all this. Quad exercises.
Yeah. Again, it goes to the compound and isolation, 2 different types of the exercises you want to focus on. Front squats are a little superior to the back squat just because it does put more weight forward, so you have to go into more range of motion. Hack squats, Bulgarian split squats lunges are all really good for that. Again, lunges, if you lean forward, that's the glute. If you stay more upright, that's going to be the quad. Not taking as wide of a stance. And then as for isolation, that extension of your leg is going to be the best one for that. Sissy squats are another good one, or Nordic curls, because they're they do really isolate the quads. I found Nordic curls to hurt my knees actually more than anything, but boy was my quads burning. So
as far as Nordic squats and sissy squats go, if your quads are already tight, which can happen for lots of reasons, extended sitting is one of them. So if you have a desk job, you probably have tight quads, or if you drive a lot. If the quads are already tight and you try to go into that motion that requires hip extension, so you're pulling the rectus femoris long and you're bending the knee, which lengthens all the quads, it can cause a lot of like tenderness. So again, work on releasing the tension in the quad and then see how that improves over time. But leg extension's the fucking way to go.
For sure, they are the killer exercise. And, you know, don't be afraid to try them out. And we tried them, the sissy squats and that, whatever, didn't really work, but we did it. So there we go.
Hey-o. And this brings us to kind of our last main muscle group, which is the hamstrings. So up front in the quad, you have the rectus femoris. In the back, you have the biceps femoris, which is going to be the lateral side of the leg, which is the side going out towards the world. And then on the medial or inner part of the back of the leg, you have the semitendinosus and semimembranosus. These are your posterior thigh muscles, and they work together to help control hip extension. So just like the glutes, they help to bring that leg back behind you. And then their main job is to bend the knee. So think about anytime you're bringing your heel towards your glute, that's your hamstrings. That's their bread and butter. They also help to decelerate your speed.
They're as for the hypertrophy of exercises for hamstrings, it's really only two that I could find that seem to be superior to any of the other ones, which are going to be Romanian deadlifts, because you're really getting that full extension and the leg is moving and then you're extending it back up. You know, it's kind of hitting, again, 98% of your body. Again, we have extensions for the quads, so we're going to curl for the hamstrings. Those two are the top tier exercises to really grow the hamstrings. Nordic curls do work for what they say is eccentric. I can't even say it, so they're saying it for me. Strength. And that's just kind of, you get a little bit of when you push your leg, when you going back up. Like it's not doing a whole lot, especially if you do have a desk job and you're sitting. It's probably not the best to grow the hamstrings, or if that's the goal.
Also, just a fun fact while we're here, you have your concentric contraction, which is pulling in, and then your eccentric contraction, which is like the lengthening motion. Leg curl is going to be your number one thing for hamstring. Yeah. Truly. Anything where you're bringing that heel to glute. I did want to say that tight hamstrings can pull the pelvis down. So in the most loving way. You see kind of old men who shuffle with their butt like really tucked underneath their body, like that.
Their knees are kind of bent and they're just like,
yeah, and the butt's like really forward, the pelvis is tilted. That is tight hamstrings. And then for us girly pops, we have the problem of like popping the butt, which tightens the low back and puts the hamstrings in a chronically lengthened position. So we need strength to pull the pelvis back into a neutral position. Having good strength and flexibility in the quads and in the hamstrings is going to help the pelvis posture, which is going to help with things like low back pain and just a well-rounded posture. I think that's where I was going with that.
So don't be skipping out on the equivalent stretching to help alleviate that. Hello.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Your muscles don't mean shit if they can't move.
Yeah, so keeping in healthy with the motion that they're supposed to do, but also giving them a little bit of strength to grow some more.
So that, as far as the muscle goes, is kind of the basics of the trunk muscles. I didn't really do the lower portions of the limbs, so the forearms or like the lower legs, or the intricacies of the back and neck, which is a lot. But knowing just those basic muscle groups will help get you far ahead of the game. You'll know more or less what someone's talking about. But let us know if you do want to learn about the other muscles, because I will yap forever.
We did miss quite a big one in the center here, so don't be missing your core as well.
Oh yeah, core is super important.
Because it kind of goes back to the posture as well. If you have to, like, your body has to be able to hold yourself up standing right. But if you're too tight, it's going to want to keep you short and hunchback Notre Dame over here. Keep yourself tall, stretch it out.
Yeah.
Strengthen it.
The core is super important. I mean, you have your rec fem, your not rec fem.
This is fully improv, by the way.
There's so many rectus muscles. You got your rectus femoris, your rectus. Anyways, I'm confusing myself. Your rectus abdominis is like the six-pack muscle, and its main job is to curl, but it also, you can do that through like pelvis movement. But then like your obliques, your internal and your external intercostal muscles help with breathing. And then your deep transverse abdominis muscle, which is like the corset that keeps your organs in place. So the core is also really intricate, and
that could probably be a whole episode on its own.
Literally, probably could be. So we could always do like core and then the further part of the extremities, if that sounds like fun.
Get those fingies and toes. I'm just kidding. There, grip. That's a huge thing.
Grip is huge. Good grip strength is a good determining holy shit.
It's a good factor if you're falling off the side of a cliff and you need to hang on and your fingers don't give up. That's fucking great, you know?
Grip strength is a good snapshot of overall strength, and we know that overall strength is linked to longevity.
I saw a video a couple years ago of these ginormous bodybuilders, big old buff fucking, probably steroid babies, but couldn't hold themselves up on the bar just as a dead hang. And this guy, no bigger than me, walked up and held himself with like his fingers, like his tips of his fingers for a very long time. And that's what he did, was climbing and strengthening, that kind of stuff. So showy muscles literally don't do anything if you can't use them the right way.
You'll hear it 9,000 times. I do want to just like loop back here for funsies about the power of two human eyes. My husband gets so offended because anytime he's looking for something, I will tell him to use the power of two human eyes. And it's a joke from Rick and Morty, and or from like the 1-800-CONTACTS, where it's like, look with your special eyes, my brand. So now you're in on the joke too. Literally tell everybody to use the power of two human eyes. I say it all the fucking time.
Because it's true. I could not stress you enough. You have the ability. You just have to use your eyeballs. Then they're human ones, so.
Unless you got robotic ones, which I guess is dope.
Because there are people who have the ones who don't, like, it's just a little eye patch that's the triangle ones that just pop over. Like, those are badass. I think those, when they get them painted and shit, it's so fucking cool.
That one, is she a teacher who has, like, all the different ones? She's got the sparkly ones and
so.
stuff. I love her. If you know her name, comment.
I think that kind of wraps up everything we had today. If you want to follow the show, go to Gym Girls Anonymous podcast. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the fun stuff, Spotify. You can find me at Ronnie.Hansen on Instagram and TikTok.
And you can find me at Lainey Shipman on all the socials as well. We don't know what we're going to talk about next week, so
We'd love any of your recommendations if you want more of this back and forth where we talk about the muscles, how to work them, whatnot.
Maybe we
Let us
talk
know.
about like gym etiquette, or we can go into like the TDEE and the metabolism and stuff. So we've got lots of options. Ideally, we won't have as much brain fog next week, but it's kind of fun to watch a bitch struggle.
I was going to say, let me see how many miles we're supposed to run next week. And then we can have a understanding if we're going to be just as brain foggy as this week or not. 13th is a 9-mile run, so we will be probably way worse than this.
Just kidding. Lower your expectations. I hope you're hungry.
For nothing.
Okay, we still haven't decided on a name for you guys, so like
We're like 6 weeks into recording this before posting, and
we want some in the back pocket for like
I'm going out of town in a couple weeks, so that'll be perfect. It is what it is.
yeah,
We got shit to do, life to live.
not to break the fourth wall, but
I really don't give a fuck. You know that we're sitting in a room recording and talking to microphones, so I'm not gonna pretend.
let's see. We got Quad Squad.
I still really like the barbarian bitches, but I feel like that is so aggressive, and it doesn't really.
Barbarian bitch. Are we not aggressive? Oh my god, you guys tell us. Are we aggressive?
So funny. My grandma on the way when I was leaving today, she told me not to work too hard, and I said, "Don't worry, I'm just talking shit."
We're gonna sit in a chair, talk some shit. Oh, just a message for all my babes out there. Fucking hydrate.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're watching the video, you've seen me do it 14 times already. So,
I just realized I was so thirsty. My brain is already
which, by the way, Hydro Jug, we love you. I just used a screwdriver and demolished my lid because I needed to clean it. So now it is weird when I drink out of it, but I will not be doing any other brand than this. And if you can tell, I love to put stickers all over my shit. So if you have stickers, please send them to me. Oh my god, please.
Yeah.
I will put your stickers on everything. Whoever you are. You don't have to be just Hydro Jug.
Send me stickers.
Yeah,
I love Hydro Drug. I want more cute patterns.
yeah, please. Oh my god, if you reach out, we can design with you. How fun would that be if we came up with our own little
fun. Little weights and stuff? Hydro Jug, do you hear that?
Wait, no, you didn't hear that because you gotta come to us first, please.
Copyright!
Next week we're gonna see the new Hydro Jug.
Oh my god. I do want to say, while we're talking brands, okay, first of all, we've talked about Oreo.
Apparently we're not done yet, so
We're going to kill a couple more minutes. Oreo, love you. Hydro Drug, love you. I do have to say Pop-Tart.
I know where we're going.
Whose dick do I have to suck? Or whatever. To get a plant-based Pop-Tart, like a plant-based brown sugar cinnamon with frosting, a plant-based fudge one. Literally, I would do horrible things. Like, let me know.
And I really appreciate that y'all have a protein option now, but it's still like 300 calories for the two. And you only get like 10 grams of protein, so like, not a way to go, but it's healthier to have a Pop-Tart that has protein in it.
Literally, fuck that. Give it to me unhealthy, but give it to me plant-based. That's all I want. Like, just Pop-Tart. You have no idea how bad I want a real frosted Pop-Tart. It has been 11 years.
Because, yeah, they're obviously not plant-based.
No,
so.
they've got milk or gelatin in them. Use pectin. Come on. Why are we still doing this?
And I feel like there's so many other options for milk. It might not be the exact same consistency, but duh.
Okay,
Duh.
leave the milk ones even. The ones that have gelatin, use pectin.
Yeah.
I will taste test all your shit. I will single-handedly keep your plant-based line afloat, I promise.
We have been considering having like a Patreon or something to where we do just like gym girls games or something.
Gym girls games.
Gym girls games.
GGG. We're gonna pull the
are
old
GGA.
Guy Fieri. We're gonna pull the old Guy Fieri diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Well, that like
Gym girls
TikTok
games.
puzzle game looked really fun. We could do it with like gym terms, and we've got your
I've got
wavelength. We have a hot wings. Yeah, hot wings. Hot ones.
Hot wings.
So we already have 3 4 options that we can work with, and I think that would be fun. I mean, it wouldn't be super expensive because it doesn't really cost us much to do these videos.
Yeah.
We already have the games and shit. I think it would just be a little extra.
We could do like
funsies.
a protein powder taste test. We could do a pre-workout taste test. We could do a Pop-Tart taste test. Oreo, what you got? Hydrate?
And having it be behind a paywall, y'all can't see it unless you sponsor us. Then we'll put it out for the fabulous people to see forever. But
anyways, if you've hung around this long, I'm really proud of you. Gold star, right on your forehead. Fucking love you.
I don't think we need to say where we are again. You can go back 20 minutes. Sorry. Love you. Bye.
Use your human ears. All right, we love you. Bye.